Hello, my friend. If you've arrived at this video, something or someone significant has left your life or is leaving your life, or perhaps you are the significant someone who is making a change in your life that could result in a fairly huge life shift. And if you're watching this video, there is a good chance there is a significant perspective in here for you that may assist you as you are going through this transition, as you are letting go, as you are stepping forward. I'm speaking on this because there have been many times in my life where significant people or situations have come to a close. Sometimes I feel like I've lived many lives in one. And I've had beautiful friendships, beautiful relationships, business partnerships, all kinds of things. Some of them, from which I'd be like, oh, this is going to be my life forever. And for one reason or another, they ended. Now, I'm not saying all of my relationships in my life have ended, but I am saying that no matter how long-lasting or short-lasting we think something will be, it will always go on for exactly as long as is resonant to serve everyone involved. And so I'm going to offer you a few stories, a few perspectives, and a few things that may assist you, like I said, during this time. Because even when you feel it's appropriate for a cycle to be complete, even if you feel, oh yeah, like this was time for it to end, I have found in my own life that I still feel sorrow or pain or grief or missing. And that's even when I know that it's very appropriate for a certain relationship or experience to shift. Now, in the past, I may have attempted to numb those feelings or to avoid them or to distract myself. In fact, I've mentioned this before in videos that there were many times that I attempted to run away from my feelings. I found growing up feelings to be very intense experiences. It almost felt for me like being blasted with cold water out of nowhere. And especially when I was younger, it felt like those feelings would come and be out of control. And at the time, I didn't have any specific modeling for how to emotionally regulate myself. And so there are a lot of ways that I attempted to cope with the emotional regulation. I would eat, I would play video games for a long time. I might literally just disassociate and fantasize. So like I might just, have that like 1,000-yard stare and just start fantasizing in my mind or play in my imaginary world. There was a lot of different ways that I chose to cope with life without directly experiencing life. And more recently, in my recent years, I have made more of a decision to be embodied, meaning in my body. And I have found that that has been extraordinarily helpful in many areas of my life, one of which has included processing my emotions. And I'm actually use a different word, because I think when I come across the word processing, it sometimes sounds like something I have to consistently do. And in my own experience, there is processing emotions where we're chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing on them and chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing. We're processing and we're chewing and we're processing. And then there is just allowing ourselves to experience the emotions. And to me, that's more like the emotions come. I'm not fighting or resisting. I'm not blocking them. I'm not trying to paint a picture on them or make myself feel better about them. I am simply feeling it. I'm feeling it. It is being felt. And then when it's complete, it's complete. There's no prolonging. There's no fighting. There's no why this, why that. And the feeling is sometimes discomfort. Because when you're processing feelings and you're not putting stories on them, good or bad, right? You're not resisting them, you're not trying to change the state, then all you can do and all you are doing is just being with the feeling. That's it. You are just being. And so when someone or something significant leaves our lives, you may feel a whole host of emotions. You might experience feelings of personal rejection, and you might experience feelings of not knowing what will come from the scenario. You might find yourself consciously or unconsciously attempting to either paint the other person or situation as bad, or to blame yourself and paint yourself as bad or faulty. This is some of the common methodologies. One of the first things I'll say is, I have found that the most clear, most easeful perspective is that if people leave my life, no matter the way they do, the situation, circumstance, not only is it in the most joyful good for everyone involved, but I have found for myself time and time again, there is no right or wrong or good or bad with them leaving. The reason this is such an important perspective is because I think it's very easy for us to fall into a trap of either needing to believe that you're more evolved than them, or you could start to beat yourself up and think there's something wrong with you. But I have had, as I said, many experiences of relationships closing, people ending, things like this. And I've spent a lot of time in meditation, in journaling, in contemplation, because there were times that I felt, oh, was it potentially something wrong with me? Or hey, was it something wrong with them? And what a lot of my journaling and a lot of my reflective work brought me was that ultimately, most of the changes that I experienced in the relationships could be identified, at least within myself, back to conscious or subconscious desires that I had expressed that I wanted. For example, when certain business deals closed in my life, I had remembered that I had expressed the importance of the type of person I want to work with, that I choose to work with in business. And it's very specific. I choose specifically to work with people who are dedicated to a model of synarchy, or I'll say this another way. They are dedicated to a way of working in the world that has a focus not just on profits and not just on being effective, which they do that. Yet they also consider sustainability of the people, of the planet, and of a way of doing business. See, this isn't just ecosystem work. This is also how they treat their employees. What kind of model are they making? Because there can be sustainable methods for doing business. And right now, I am currently focused on the leaders or the teams or the projects in which people are not just voicing this kind of care, but they are living it. Because we all teach through embodiment. And the world is ready for a very profound change at this time. So if you are finding people leaving your life, there is a good chance that you have also consciously or unconsciously made choices about who you want in your life and where you feel complete. Who you want in your life and where you feel complete with certain cycles, people, and patterns. It doesn't make anyone right or wrong. It just means that whatever cycle you had there was complete. So what I found for me very helpful is a process of allowing myself to genuinely feel. Most recently, I have been letting go of a couple friendships, and I'll say this differently. We would still be friends. We're still considered friends, but the level of involvement that we have in each other's lives at the moment has diminished. And I feel grief. I feel grief, not that I feel the choice is incorrect, and not that I even feel that the other person did anything wrong or bad. I just simply feel the grief because I had so much love and joy for the experience I had with this person and how I created it. And I honor that feeling of grief. I let myself feel it. But I don't get stuck in something being wrong. As I'm feeling it, I'm also simultaneously feeling the healthiness and the appropriateness of making a choice like that. The simultaneousness of it allows me to both be completely authentic in how I'm feeling, not really externally, but internally. Being honest with myself, not gaslighting myself about how I feel, but being genuine. But at the same time, I am simultaneously aware that it's healthy for me. But one is not trying to override the other. I'm not trying to say, well, it's healthy for me, so why are you grieving? Or, I'm very upset. How can you say it's healthy? I'm just aware that all these things can be true all at once. And that I don't actually need to fix anything. And although it has felt very uncomfortable to be in grief, I am not trying to force the process along, nor am I trying to externally solve it, because I have finally lived enough life to remember that our most leverageable and profound changes come from the inside out. When I attempt to wrestle first with the external world before making clear and deliberate choices inside myself, and to be clear, choices aren't mental. Choices are at a level of commitment and embodiment. It's a way you are being, not something you are thinking you should do. It's a way you are being. It's okay if people are shifting out of your world at this time. Remember that no one ever truly leaves us. No one ever truly leaves us. But they may come out of our focus for some time. And that's okay too. So my friend, if this is happening in your life, you're in good company. And I invite you to feel the feelings you feel. If you feel nothing at all, then feel that too. Sometimes the nothing at all is disassociation. Sometimes it's nothing at all. You know best. You know what it is. So, I feel like this is a good place for us to conclude today's video. But I have so enjoyed connecting with you on this topic, and let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts. Are you going through some grief right now? Are you going through anger? Are you just going through a shift and you would like to express some feelings? Let's place them below. We'll hold some energetic space for that. I also invite you to look at my description area. There are a few offerings there, should you be looking for personalized or group guidance at this time. May you have an amazing rest of your day. May you give yourself the space and the focus and the time and energy you need to connect with yourself in the most clear and auspicious ways. I appreciate you, my friend, and we'll talk more soon.